and stood beside the Spanish people in the Republic. But it's also important that we remember we're in a situation today where fascism is raising its head again. So thanks all for coming. There's a tremendous amount of people here, which we're delighted about. I'm going to ask Mike Arner for the Scottish Association to say a few words. Then we'll lay the wreath. Any comrade that's wants to lay a wreath at the memorial for the International Brigade comrades who left Western Berkshire. And anybody who wants to come forward and say a few words is quite welcome to do so. So I'll hand you over to Mike.
Thanks very much, Jim. First time I was here was actually for the unveiling, which is 8 years ago now. A number of us go out to Spain every year for the commemoration to the International Brigades at Jarama. This memorial is famous in Spain. Amongst the Republican people, the people that keep alive the memory of our brigaders in Spain, they love the photographs that they've seen of the memorial in Renton. The other thing, of course, that the Vale is famous for is the Gibbons brothers, the three of them that went to Spain. One of them from here, one of them from London, and one of them from Canada. One of them was killed. Tommy was killed at Brunetti. Danny was captured at Calasete, and Joe volunteered with the Lincolns and came over from Chicago to fight. And there's actually a bench on Hampstead Heath dedicated to the three of them. There was a fourth brother, John, who they wouldn't take. He wasn't allowed to enlist because his brothers had already enlisted. But that's just an example of the kind of spirit that was in this area, an amazing area, as Jim said, 47 people, an amazing number from a number of small villages leading down to Dumbarton. Through the early years of the war, around Madrid, November 1936, at La Pera, at Las Rojas, February 1937 at Jarama, on to Brunetti that July, Teruel, Gandesa, Melchite, and on to the River Ebro. More than 500 from Scotland went to Spain. Hundreds were wounded, and over 120 still lie out there in Spanish soil. The men and women, including those from these very streets around us, who fought or drove or nursed or indeed cooked in Spain, they knew why they went. And those who collected food and money and made bandages in the communities of Scotland knew the cause as well, to uphold democracy and to combat the evils of fascism, aware as they were of the consequences to their friends and their families, and indeed the wider world, if it triumphed. By being here today, we keep alive the memory of those who volunteered for a conflict in a country of which they knew little, but whose outcome they knew would be crucial in their own lives. We keep alive the memory because their fight is in our very essence to fight fascism in all its forms. That was the legacy handed down to us by the volunteers of the International Brigade, and we pledge ourselves here today to be true to that legacy. On December the 7th, 1938, the main remnant of the British battalion returned via Victoria Station in London, many after fighting fascism in Spain for more than 2 years. And this is from a press report at the time. Led proudly by their wounded comrades, they marched into London. With them marched the spirit of Byron, the Tolpuddle Martyrs, the Chartists, Keir Hardie, Britain's bravest fighters for liberty through the centuries. Behind and around them marched 20,000 Democrats, men as well as women, wept and cheered. It was no political affair, for all parties were represented, both on the platform and in the crowd. It was British democracy spontaneously expressing its abhorrence of fascism and its appreciation of bravery. They'd made history by forming part of the greatest international democratic army the world had ever known. They had inspired the world by their example. Something of this seemed to enter into everyone who was at Victoria Station that night, and the memory of it will never be eradicated. I'd just like to mention another individual, because he struck me as I read down the list of those from this part of the country who went to Spain. And that's Patrick Curley from Bourne Hill. About 6 years ago, we unveiled a memorial in a small town called Tarancon, about an hour's drive from Madrid. It's a memorial that contains 39 names of those from Scotland who fell at the Battle of Jarama. And Patrick Curley's name is on that memorial. And every year when we're out there, we read a poem, a Scottish poem by a very famous Aberdeen-born Dundonian called Mary Brooksbank. And I'd like to share that with you today. It's called Graves in Spain. Tread softly, senoritas, o'er their lonely graves. Spaniards, mute your voices for our dead. Stars, shine steadfast, eternal vigil keep. Light soft the soil around each valiant head. No mercenaries they, the world's beloved. Christ's images by fear and greed betrayed. No raucous cheers, no tinsel show, no glory, no blaring bands, no banners o'er them waved. A future age shall write their selfless story. Pioneers of progress, the path you paved, the world's marching feet shall tread again, when history's final battle humanity has saved. Rest ye, the world's best and bravest, in your lonely graves in Spain. Thank you.
I'm laying these as a resident of Renton with respect and pride to have come from a place where people could foresee what was coming and went to fight against it. But the guy was talking about the spirit, and the spirit's got to be kept alive. And this is a song we used to sing at Greenham Common. You can't kill the spirit. She's like a mountain, old and strong. She goes on and on and on. You can't kill the spirit.
These are going out west and back, so we never forget.
Viva la República, no pasará!
Right behind Trade Union Council, Workers and Communities United.
Is there anybody else want to say a few words? After this, can I thank you on behalf of the Community Part and the Renton Community Development Trust for coming along today to take part in this memorial. And we'll make sure that the flag keeps flying every year for the comrades that went and fought the fascists. Because I fear in the coming years we're going to have to face fascism ourselves as it's rising in the West. So it's important that we keep the light burning and make sure that we play our part as working class people to make sure that fascism doesn't get a hold